This is Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncover No More. I had to start my video over because somebody was talking in the hall, and that somebody just has to tell people what to do. I'm turning over a new leaf in my life and established a blog, and it's going to turn into a series of blogs, and it's going to deal with both my poetry and the poetry of other authors. I have been set free from this world system this way, but in doing so, I have also been set free from all of my relationships. I'm having to come to grips with the fact that relationships as I have known them for all of my life were about me taking care of what I was supposed to take care of and otherwise tell her what is wrong with her so that she can improve. I have had that in my life, or people shut out any possibility of an emotional relationship with me for various reasons, and I've been caught in the middle for far too long. I am grateful that I still have strength left to finish what I am supposed to finish, but I am determined to leave everyone alone now. I am not wanted for myself from my previous life. I'm not wanted, and I never was. I had to hold out because of my metaphysical abilities as an archangel. Until such time as I knew that the people that I love are in a good place for themselves. And I have no question in my mind that they love their neighbor as themselves. They're very caring people. It's just that there is no one to actually care for me. I've been rejected, and I can see now it's been all my life, and I think there's a lot of us who are very faithful in religious worlds and then had to scorn the religion to come to this place. So I decided to start a series of blogs peacefully upon poetry because I find that I can write it, but not like some of the major poets. That doesn't matter to me. They feed me, and I love myself enough to publish on a very thrifty budget poetry and artwork, runestone work, tarot work, because people around me a couple of times have recognized that I'm a teacher. But that is a grand calling with a simple life, in my case, as a solitary pagan. I have a relationship, two, actually, on the earth that understand me eternally better than I understand myself. I always wonder, are they like me? Did they reach a point where solitary is best for everyone, but not themselves. But to love myself, really love myself, I must take this move. I must stop being rejected. I must. Anymore, I must set the boundary that you must prove to me that you want a relationship with me. I must stop initiating and being rejected, distanced, picked apart, or just put up with. I'm just someone that you put up with. Or used. I have no one that seeks me out just for me in friendship. I don't know what that's like. I have myself to choose to not live by others' expectations, to do my duties, to not cause issues or problems in daily duties by being a procrastinator or a shirker of chores, that kind of thing. But when it comes to relationship, it is with myself. Alone. And that may be for a while or it may not, because I know that the two men I'm talking about are here. And I think we three need me to delve into my poetic side. My mystical side as sorceress, and leave the rest faithfully accomplished day by day. I'm going to read do artwork and throw Rider-Waite Tarot for Hector in the Garden. I began this August the 9th. Hector in the Garden by Elizabeth Barrett. "9 years old, the first of any, seem the happiest years that come. Yet when I was 9, I said, no such word. I thought instead that the Greeks had used as many in besieging Ilium," which has to do with Troy. Verse 2, 9 green years had scarcely brought me to my childhood's haunted spring. I had life like flowers and bees in betwixt the country trees, and the sun the pleasure taught me, which he teacheth everything. Verse 3, if the rain fell, there was sorrow, little head leant on the pane, little finger drawing down it, the long trailing drops upon it, and the rain, rain, come tomorrow, said for charm against the rain. Verse 4, such a charm was right, Canidian, thought you meet it with a jeer. If I said it long enough, then the rain hummed dimly off, and the thrush with his pure Lydian was left only to the ear. Verse 5, and the sun and I together went a rushing out of doors, We, our tender spirits, drew over hill and dale in view, glimmering hither, glimmering thither, in the footsteps of the showers. Verse 6. Underneath the chestnuts dripping, through the grasses wet and fair, straight I sought my garden ground, with the laurel on the mound, and the pear tree oversweeping, a side shadow of green air. Verse 7. In the garden lay supinely a huge giant, wrought of spade. Arms and legs were stretched at length in a passive giant strength. The fine meadow turf cut finely, round them laid and interlaid. Verse 8. Call him Hector, son of Priam, such his title and degree. With my rake I smoothed his brow, both his cheeks I weeded through. But a rhymer such as I am scarce can sing his dignity. Verse 9. Eyes of gentianellus azure, staring, winking at the skies, nose of gillyflowers and box, scented grasses put for locks, which a little breeze at pleasure set a-waving round his eyes. Verse 10. Brazen helm of daffodils, with a glitter toward the light, purple violets for the mouth, breathing perfumes west and south, and a sword of flashing lilies, holden ready for the fight. Verse 11. And a breastplate made of daisies, closely fitting, leaf on leaf, periwinkles interlaced, drawn for belt about the waist, while the brown bees, humming praises, shot their arrows round the chief. Verse 12. And who knows, in parentheses, I sometimes wondered, if the disembodied soul of old Hector, once of Troy, might not take a dreary joy here to enter, if it thundered, rolling up the thunder roll? Verse 13. Rolling this way from Troy ruin, in this body rude and rife, just to enter and take rest, neath the daisies of the breast, they with tender roots renewing his heroic heart to life. Verse 14. Who could know I sometimes started at a motion or a sound? Did his mouth speak, naming Troy with an... I don't know which language this is. This is interesting to me. Verse 14. Did the pulse of the strong-hearted make the daisies tremble round? Verse 15. It was hard to answer often, but the birds sang in the tree. But the little birds sang bold in the pear tree green and old, and my terror seemed to soften through the courage of their glee. Verse 16. Oh, the birds, the trees, the ruddy and white blossoms sleek with rain. Oh, my garden rich with pansies. Oh, my childhood's bright romances. All revived like Hector's body, and I see them stir again. Verse 17. And despite life's chances, and despite the death bell's toll, they press on me in full seeming. Help, some angel, stay this dreaming, as the birds sang in the branches. Sing God's patience through my soul. Verse 18. That no dreamer, no neglecter, of the present's work unsped, I may wake up and be doing life's heroic ends pursuing, though my past is dead as Hector, and though Hector is twice dead. I obviously was listening to this poem for a very long time as I read it since August 9th. It seems like longer than 1 or 2 months. It seems longer. It fits with a booklet I'm reading concerning Archangel Michael and Michaelmas, because this is September and soon Michaelmas is being celebrated. So I cannot afford monetarily to do what I will maybe be able to afford next year, which is a small tree, just to begin my journey of the entire year with Michaelmas. I wanted to go in my office, and I can't afford it this year, like I said, but I could begin my blog with poetry and recommit to poetry with my art, along with my duties. I have a new journal for my new traditions and celebrations as a solitary pagan. There are 4 celebrations with the seasons because I understand some things about the moon goddess in paganism. So Michaelmas is a 5th, but it's the 1st, and then I will learn to celebrate the 4 seasonal celebrations. I will continue to try hard for my family. Thanksgiving and Christmas, we quit Resurrection Sunday. There's so much we quit, and I will never get it back. This is Cara Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered